From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a special noontime broadcast direct from Los Angeles in Santa Monica this Thursday with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today. The President of the United States is overseas to sign a major ancillary legislation for fourth stimulus. It's really heating up. The President wants you to have stimulus checks. The Congress wants you to have stimulus checks. I want you to have stimulus checks. And the print media is now covering the fourth stimulus checks as well. I have all the incredible details about this fourth stimulus check in this recording, how much the Democrats want to give to you, and when they want to give it to you. Then the second half of this video, we go over fifth stimulus and how much your benefits will be raised and why a shocking economic number released this morning could see your benefits go through the roof. Oh boy, this economic number was the biggest you had seen since 2009. I have all the breaking details on this recording. Then the middle of this video, we go over fifth. We'll be going over the big money to land your bank accounts. And I'll have another economic number released this morning, which was just shocking. A big revelation about the meme stocks and a big revelation about what could be happening later this week. It's a great day. I'm really excited for you. Let's get to all these details on a special broadcast right this Thursday here on Noontime LA. Hey, good noontime, everybody. It's Thursday with you from Santa Monica, California. I hope the weather is good where you are. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Jump into the live chat or in the comments and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. You can tell it is super sunny. You can barely see the colorization of the flowers behind me because the sun is really bellowing in here today. In this recording, we go over the breaking news, and there's a lot of it about that fourth stimulus. News from the president, from the Congress, a lot of big details about that fourth stimulus check breaking today. We'll be going over how much the Democrats want to give you as well and their calculations about the subject matter. Then we'll be cutting to fifth stimulus. We'll be cutting back to the other breaking news that impacts fifth stimulus that happened today. I tell you, it's a big recording. See if I can get it all done in 30 minutes. And then we have the big money available for you and surprising details about the meme stocks. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoon. I'm next back with you with Afternoons LALATE. That's at 3 o'clock this afternoon, followed by Evenings LALATE. Those are new shows today, and there's a lot of breaking news to not miss. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I don't want to miss a single video across the board. Also, like this video. 3,000 likes. Let's do it. Make sure you hit that like button. It helps in the algorithm ranking, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right into the House bill and the Senate proposal from the Democrats on your fourth stimulus check monthly. The House bill provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check over a shorter duration. Let's look at them right now. So the House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year monthly. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check from July to December monthly. Let's compare the amounts on a monthly basis. The House bill provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, provides an amount unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Oh, wow. This is purportedly what the Senate Democrats want to give you compared to the House Democrats. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Now, if you're watching the show just after about 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote in the chat. House or Senate, tell me where you're tuning in from. But first, let's go over some macroeconomic factors, which is this. Many believe that the pandemic may be over by the time the House vote occurs. If that's the case, the House bill from the Democrats would provide you 12 months of checks. From the Democrats at $13,000 over 12 months. Compare that to the Senate Democrats at this. Oh boy, I think you have an opinion. That's 6 months there. Yeah, that's per person. I think you have an opinion. Jump into the chat right now. Which one do you like? House or Senate? Tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is and where you're watching from. Boy, what a sunny day it is here in LA. Who gets the fourth stimulus check? The Democrats want everyone who got a third stimulus check to get the fourth stimulus check. So if you are a single individual, make less than $75,000, you get the fourth stimulus check from the Democrats. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check, just double it from the Democrats. A family of four, you get the fourth stimulus check, just quadruple it from the Democrats. And then, if you're on benefits, the Democrats want you to have a fourth stimulus check. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, there you go. The fourth stimulus check is not waivable, so don't wave at it. It won't wave back. No, it's not a waivable check. It's a monthly check. The fourth stimulus check would go to the same amount for individuals, whether you're adult dependent, minor dependent, or anyone else the Democrats represent. And the fourth stimulus check is not income, so it's not taxable. Leader Schumer, more than half a dozen times, has said that the final vote would be by July 4th, and the Democrats proposed that you would get the fourth stimulus check for July, in the month of July, in August, for the month of August. And there you go. That is the first of three parts of this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, Thursday. But coming up in a second, I have the second, and it's all shocking, breaking news from everyone, from the president to Congress, about this fourth stimulus check. Stay with me, it's in a second. But first, here's a preview of the second half of this video. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over fifth stimulus and the jaw-dropping economic number that was released this morning, a number we have not seen in 30 years. It is shocking. And if it happens, your numbers for benefits are going to go through the roof. It's wonderful news. So stay with me. But first, let's cut back to the big money you can get right now. Get a pen or paper or a Crayola crayon. I'm wearing Crayola blue. And get ready to write these details down because we're going to get a lot of money. If you're new to this channel, I don't report news and just sit here and say, XYZ, let me read my script. I get people money. I got people $25 million for EIDL last year. I got people $250,000 for rent. And I'm now getting people more money right now. And this money is yours. It's from third stimulus. We all understood that third stimulus was going to get you a stimulus check of $1,400. But I told you, you're going to get $5,000 to $10,000, $15,000 on top of that. And here's that money. So the money's landing in a different series of different places. You're going to see in a second, I'm going to tell you where those are. Get that pen and paper ready. But each has different eligibility. So if one says no, reach out to the next. I had one viewer on Overnights LA said, I'm going right to my mayor's office tomorrow. Thank you for that information. To which I responded, go to the state and county also. So you got that pen and paper ready? Here we go. Stay to the very end. I got a lot of money for you. Okay, you're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority. Your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. You're going to ask for rent assistance because of COVID. Rent assistance because of COVID. You're not going to ask for anything confusing or other words, just those simple words. Or you're going to ask for mortgage assistance because of COVID. You're not going to ask for rent assistance because of sirloin. They won't know what that means. They'll say, who? You're not going to ask for pastrami and rye either because it's not a delicatessen. You got to say the right words. And they don't know the word stimulus either, so don't use that word either. And there you go. Viewers are killing it. And if you're one of the viewers who's killed it from anywhere from $1 to my viewers who got $15,000 in December for rent, drop in the comments because it inspires other viewers, inspires me. We all here to help each other. And one viewer got this, and it was Tim. Another guy, Linda. Viewers generally get about $5,000 for rent, 4 to 6 months of rent. Wow, incredible. So go get it. The next pot of money, we had inspiration on Monday on Mornings LA. One viewer said she got about $560, $570 a month. That's a fortune. It's $6,000, $7,000 a year. What is it? Lynn Glenn got it for herself and her son and her mom. Gail got it. It is SNAP. It is SNAP. It is money for your food. Reach out to Department of Agriculture to get it. Department of Agriculture. It is money for your food. How much money is it? Family of four in Hawaii, it's $16,000 a year. Wow, why so much money? Because of two wonderful executive orders, one from Trump and one from Biden that raised everyone's benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. And we're killing it. We are 10 minutes into this video, $16,000 for SNAP, $5,000 for rent. We are killing it. But boy, we got more money. and it's coming from your state. It's about $5,000. One viewer got this. And what is it? The federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment assistance due to computer error and then asking you to return the money back to them, which you did. Well, the federal government said, not your fault. It was their computers. You're supposed to keep the money. So the federal government has ordered the states to return the money back to you. Congratulations. So when are you going to get it? Reach out to your respective state for routing times. How do you get it? On the account that you have on file. The next pot of money is wonderful. It is the money coming back from IRS that you paid for taxes on it. And COD dropped into our Overnight's crypto show a week ago that he got the money. So thank you. That's a true embodiment of the spirit of this channel. Viewers trying to help other viewers. Saying, hey, I got the money, tell other viewers it's coming. How much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, how you're going to get it. Let me go over all the details. First, how do you get this money? It's coming back from IRS, the amount you paid on that 2020 tax return for taxes on your unemployment benefits. Let's say you had $9,000 of benefits and you paid $5,000 of total taxes on that tax return, of which $4,000 was the taxes on unemployment. You're getting back $4,000. Next, how? Direct deposit, if you're like COD and have that on the return, or in the mail. When? June. And finally, can you track it? Yes, 70% of the time you can track it. So you go to irs.gov, set up a username and password, go in there, do a transcript search. Transcript search for your name and social security number. And it'll likely, 70% of the time will work. It'll show your name, your tax return that you filed, the taxes you paid on that tax return, and the refund you're getting. Wow. Can we get better than that? We can. With incredible breaking details of your fourth stimulus check of 2021 happening just today, and it starts right now. The president was asked, does he like stimulus checks? Sure, I like them. He's not going to veto a bill that has it in there. The Democrats in the Senate have said they're going to put the stimulus checks in there. The Democrats in the House have said they're going to put the stimulus checks in there. All the Democrats are now aligned to pass for stimulus, including Manchin and Sinema have confirmed that they're online to pass for stimulus. The negotiations are over. The for stimulus is currently in reconciliation, we have learned. The bills are currently being marked up this very moment. Oh, very exciting. And the finality will be by July 4th. Wow. So what is the president doing today? Even more wow. He's overseas for his first international trip to sign into law an ancillary legislation that anchors the tow hitch and the tow truck of forced stimulus over the finish line. Oh my goodness, all that? What else? Well, the president's talking about stimulus checks. I'm talking about stimulus checks. The press is talking about stimulus checks. The Democrats are talking about stimulus checks. Everyone's talking about stimulus checks except one group, the GOP. And now let's talk a little bit more about the stimulus checks and understand how we got to this moment with the breaking news over the last few days. It started with Leader Schumer the Friday before Memorial Day weekend, who confirmed one, we are currently under reconciliation and have been under reconciliation. Number two, we will be finished by July 4th. Number three, we will not be held up for reconciliation because of any bipartisan negotiations. All right, now, how do we get to that spot? It started with an incredible letter from Jalabal to Schumer saying, call the vote. But what's really fascinating about the letter was it's co-signed by 12 House Democrats who are among the 100-plus House Democrats who had written the president a letter saying, we, sir, are putting monthly stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Oh my goodness, can we get better than that? We can. When about a week ago, 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, we are putting multiple stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package. Well, who are these people? These are the people who wrote the first stimulus check for you. Really? Did they? Yeah, they wrote the second stimulus check. But did they? Yeah, they wrote the third stimulus check. And now they're writing the fourth stimulus check. And for the first time ever on Noontime LA, you're hearing from me that they also told the president that they will be putting the fifth stimulus check into the fifth stimulus package as well. Oh my goodness. Bless their heart. These are the legislators in the House subcommittee that are solely responsible for writing stimulus check. Can it get better than that? It does. And this is where things sometimes are complicated. And I always say, if it's complicated, I'm going to slow it down so you understand it. And that's what I had talked about in this subject matter over the last 3 weeks, a Tuesday event where I said, I'm going to slow it down. That's why the president's oversees that Tuesday event. So let's slow it down. Forced stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. But Once it was announced by the president, he also said, I am worried that in raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, U.S. corporations may leave the U.S. and move operations overseas, where the corporate tax rate is currently lower. So I'm going to propose to G7 countries around the globe to raise their minimum global corporate tax rate so my companies in the United States will leave us in the United States to go elsewhere. Great idea. Later that Tuesday, the president had told insiders that after fourth stimulus is passed in July, like in August or September, he will try to get those G7 countries to sign on the dotted line about the global minimum corporate tax rate. And that if he does, then he'll drop the U.S. corporate tax rate closer to where it is right now. And that was wonderful news. Wonderful, wonderful news. But then came last Friday when it got even more wonderful. I had told you last Friday I had found a buried press clipping article. It was not front page, it wasn't last page, it was buried. That said the president was going to meet with the G7 countries last Saturday. And I said, I don't know why he's meeting with them. But I said, I know one thing, tune in to me on Mornings LALATE Saturday morning because I will have for you whatever happens. And it happened. The president announced that he had gotten the G7 countries to agree to the global minimum corporate tax rate before fourth stimulus is passed in July, to anchor fourth stimulus over the finish line, and that he was going to go overseas for his first international trip to have them sign it into law today. And that's what he's doing today. He is now overseas for his first international trip to sign the global minimum corporate tax rate, which anchors the fourth stimulus over the finish line before fourth stimulus goes to a vote in July, to help it now rather than do this in August or September. That is wonderful news. So let's go over where we are right now. The president, when asked about fourth stimulus, says, I like them. The Democrats in the House say they're going to put fourth stimulus checks in there. And we're talking about monthly, of course. The Senate Democrats say, we like the fourth stimulus, and we're going to vote as a cohesive pack and pass fourth stimulus. And that includes Manchin and Sinema. The press is talking about the fourth stimulus checks. They're signing the letter that talks about the 7 House Democrats writing the president a letter. Everyone's talking about fourth stimulus checks. And away we go. But guess what? There's more details about fourth stimulus checks coming up in the second half of this recording. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you need help with rent, utilities, or more, reach out to the volunteers. They can help you get that rent, utilities, internet, and more. They're on the community page. Reach out to them, and they will get that money for you. I'll be back in 60 seconds with you with more exciting details about fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus and the breaking news as well. My personal opinion and personal thoughts about fourth stimulus and shocking development about the meme stocks. Stay with me, and I'll see you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LA with incredible details still about your fourth stimulus check, your fifth stimulus package, the meme stocks, major regulation, and a surprising detail about a new economic data we've never seen in nearly 30 years. This is Noontime LA with a special broadcast with you direct from Santa Monica this Thursday. How are you? Tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. This is LALATE, and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. I'm going to go over a little bit more about fourth stimulus in a second, but first, here's some fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall by raising up your benefits, but suddenly we're learning that those benefits may be even higher. Fifth stimulus raises up your benefit limits, adds a new asset limit, removes adds an inflationary benchmark, removes the income exclusion, and removes the marriage penalty. All right, let's go over what that means, and then the breaking news across the board. First, they're going to raise your benefits up. Who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or multiple benefits, your benefits will be raised up. Then they will apply a new benchmark every December. That benchmark will no longer be COLA, which it is right now. It won't be CPIE, which is what Elizabeth Warren proposed. Rather, it will be inflation. Now, inflation is expected to go much higher this fall. More about that in a second with the breaking news. But let's choose a number. Let's say it's 6%. So first, your benefits will step up. Then, first they'll raise your benefits up under fifth stimulus. Then they'll apply the benchmark. Let's say it's 6% inflation in December. That means your benefits would step up 6%, but not just next year, lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. If the inflation rate the year after that is 0%, then you're still at plus 6%. If the year after that the inflation rate is 1%, then you're at plus 1 and plus 6%. And there you go. That is why that inflation rate is so wonderful. They're also going to remove the asset cap that prevents you from having more than $3,000 on hand. Time to get rid of that just to get those stimulus checks in your hand. They're going to remove the income exclusion that prevents you from being on benefits and working. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. You'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and not lose benefits. That's fifth stimulus, heating up this fall. But there's a lot of other stuff in fifth stimulus than just that. So how do you learn it? By becoming a member. Click the link at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Members get delivered to them daily from me via the community page on YouTube, written by me, a breakdown from what's in the fifth stimulus, what's in the fourth stimulus, and what's in the third stimulus. Because guess what? There's thousands of dollars available for you under third stimulus that's yours to get. But most of it's application-based. It's not automatic. You need to go get it. Thousands of dollars, a lot more than a stimulus check. And that's how we do in this channel. We cash checks, not track checks. So it's important you know what's for you. For example, in the fifth stimulus proposes money for single individuals, single seniors, single hazard pay workers as well. And there you go. All right, let's go back now to fourth stimulus with the huge details about what happened this morning. Well, I'm going to give you two economic data, and the first economic data really hits fifth stimulus out of the ballpark. This morning, a new economic data number was released. The Consumer Price Index, the CPI. What is that number for? It shows you what the prices of food, energy, grocery, housing, car sales, and similar went to in the month of May, last month. Did they go up? Did they go down? How much did the prices go to? Where did they go? Well, we learned that in the month of May, the CPI number went up its highest amount in 30 years year to date. The May number for the prices of those goods went up the fastest growth in 1 year, May of last month compared to the May before, that we have seen in 30 years. The last time we saw that number was the Great Recession of 2008. Oh, is that bad news? No, that is really good news. Let me explain why. It basically says that we are running up on inflation. Inflation is going through the roof. It is going through the roof. But what most analysts said is that this inflation number is temporary, that it's going to zoom up like this number zoomed up, and that after everything settles down, then it's going to come back down to a more normal number, like 2-4%. But this is looking like massive runaway numbers, double-digit inflation. Well, here's what you need to know. You want to hope that this number stays as high as it is or gets higher, by December when they apply the first year of your benchmark for benefits. Because once they step you up, you're done lifetime. They step you up lifetime. So then after that, inflation can go back down to where it normally is because your benefits have already been stepped up lifetime. That is why it's very important and hopeful that we see that this inflation number hits its peak right when they apply your benefits assessments in December for that benchmark. All right, that's fifth stimulus. Does that number have anything to do with fourth stimulus? No. Does that have anything to do with stimulus checks? No. But there was another number that was released this morning that has everything to do with your stimulus checks, and it was the Thursday jobless claims. Yes, if you've been with me for 47, 55 weeks, or I don't know how many weeks it is now, 60 weeks, you have seen every Thursday morning the new jobless numbers were released. I've said a trillion times on this channel that we went into the pandemic with 250,000 new jobless claims before the pandemic. That's our benchmark. What were we before the pandemic? 250, 258 a week. So what were we last week? 376. We didn't improve. So we're still not at pre-pandemic levels. Our unemployment numbers are still not at pre-pandemic levels. So we need stimulus checks. Easy. Done. How about continuing jobless claims? These are people who were unemployed 2 weeks ago and are still unemployed 1 week ago. Still high, 3.5 million. The jobs have not been restored. We need stimulus checks. Easy. Done. For stimulus. There you go. There's your economic data that supports fourth stimulus and your economic data that supports fifth stimulus. Now, a side note is that the president yesterday announced a wonderful provision of the following. He announced that for his budget bill, which is not a bill that I'm covering on this channel, it's not the stimulus package, something else, that he will dedicate $1 billion to the benefits system for administration needs. This is wonderful. It's not money to you, but it's to ensure that you get payments in the future on time, fast, and diligently. If you were with me in the spring, you saw how third stimulus checks came later to people on benefits during different waves. He's trying to eliminate that. Remember, you get a fourth stimulus check if you're on benefits. You get a stimulus check. You get the raising of your benefits under fifth stimulus. And as those legislators say, they want to give you a fifth stimulus check as well. All right, now let's cut to calling the vote. Calling the vote on a fourth stimulus requires 9 steps. There are 9 steps for the reconciliation process that you need to know by heart because it's important to push right now, Purple Power, and understand when the pushing is needed, which is right now. The first half are procedural steps. The second half are substantive steps. Step 1, the House subcommittee calls a procedural vote. Step 2, the House floor calls a procedural vote. Step 3, the Senate calls a procedural vote. And step 4, the President signs a procedural bill. At that point, the tow truck is passed over the finish line. Time to do the tow hitch. Step 5, the House subcommittee calls and votes on the substantive bill. This is what they're doing right now, marking up the bill. This is where they would put stimulus checks in there if they wanted to. Then step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and 8 is when the Senate does the vote-a-rama, a 2-day event at which they amend whatever was given to them from the House. So if the House didn't give them stimulus checks, the senators can put them in there. If the House did give them stimulus checks, the senators can leave it alone or add more checks or make them bigger. And then finally, step 9, the president signs into law. And there you go. Those are your 9 steps. Finally, a couple of other things that you need to know. First, the head of the SEC appeared on broadcast news yesterday and was asked about the meme stocks. And he specifically said that they are looking into whether certain external influences of individuals or entities that have big sums of money are getting into these sort of chat rooms and trying to drive up the excitement for certain meme stocks by using basically like a pyramid scheme, getting in there and trying to drag the numbers up. I believe that this is my personal belief that you're going to see the meme stocks really implode, that there's going to be a crackdown and there may potentially be a regulatory event because it does sense as though there are external influences, not a kid in his home buying and selling $100 of a meme stock, that there are external influences with hundreds of millions of dollars going into these meme stock positions and getting into these chat rooms potentially and driving up the prices, which is not allowed. All right. So now let's cut back to what's going on with forced stimulus and my personal message. Forced stimulus is currently in the recon. Going to finish the recon by July 4th. Has all the Democrats, including Manchin on board. And the president likes stimulus checks. The Democrats in the House and Senate want to give you stimulus checks. There you go. But it's important to know that I don't see as much pushing as I would like among the purple power. I went on social media this morning and I saw less than a dozen or so tweets tagging me with hashtag MSC, hashtag purple power. I did see some comments on some of the videos where people say, I'm crossing my fingers. Don't be crossing your fingers. You need to uncross those fingers and go right to social media and start tweeting, tagging, calling your elected officials on the phone, sending them letters. You need to push. And now is the opportunity to push. Don't push after the legislation is written. It will be too late. Don't not push and just assume that things are coming to you. These are legislators. Let's go over the history of legislators. They've had laws that they don't send out the money for. They've had bills that they don't call for a vote to become law. They've had proposals that they never write to become a bill. And then they have talk that they never put to proposal. So you can't have anything expected of elected officials unless you push. And while everyone's talking about monthly stimulus checks, you need to push and make sure they finish what they started. So go on social media, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. Use these videos, tag elected officials, or make your own tweets, tag them, and keep the pushing going. Not one tweet every 5 days, because now is the time. They're currently marking up the legislation. Is now the time to push. And with that, make sure you continue to push. I'll see you next on Afternoons LALATE at 3 p.m. this afternoon with a new show. Then Evenings LALATE at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And also more shows tonight. Stay informed, stay focused. Don't miss a single video across the board. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Like this video. 3,000 likes. Do it right now and consider becoming a member. And stay with LA for more.